You know, it's not a protected class. That again is, that's police.
What is C, what is so wrong with C? Can you explain
With
how?
the second C, right?
You mean the
First
second
C.
C?
First C.
Well, I'd say
No, what's wrong with
The first or the second?
And both of them. I'd say, you
'Cause
know,
they're both
what
not advisable.
What exactly is wrong with both C?
Well,
Because
schools-
salespeople usually have the, don't worry about that attitude, let's move on to the next topic.
Well,
So
we,
what exactly is wrong with these two Cs?
okay, let's talk about schools first. We don't talk about whether schools are good or bad, because that, who knows what's good or bad for that family or that child. So
But that's not
that,
discriminating, though.
yes, it is.
Well,
It can be. It's
can
a
be.
way of discriminating.
One of the biggest ways that agents, real estate agents get into trouble is by steering. All right, now you've all heard of the term steering? Okay, steering is a subtle but systematic way of preserving patterns of segregation. Okay, and schools are often used as a proxy for race. So when you represent something about a school system, you're taking the chance of subjective bias getting in the way there. You may say to someone, I think you would be happier in this school system. Are you really saying you'd be happier in that school system? Or are you saying, I think you'd fit in better to that school system? Because honestly, what does a good school mean? I challenge any of you to give me one definition of a good school.
No, we're going to get 58. Wait.
It means
Okay,
different
wait, there's
things
somebody who wants to talk
different,
in
I
the
will. Different
Okay,
things to
let-
different people.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, no, wait, he had his hand up for a long time.
Well, for once, wouldn't it be more steering if I said, well, this school definitely isn't the one that's probably gonna be good for you guys, not such a great school. But I know it's a crappy school, you know what I'm saying? But doesn't it sound a little better when I say, well, don't worry about that. Everything is good. This is a great neighborhood. This is great. Everything is safe. Nothing to really worry about. You know?
Don't go either way.
I have a comment about the neighborhood is safe and the schools are good. We can be held accountable for false promises. If you say the neighborhood is safe and then they get mugged the next day, which does happen
Right.
in New York City,
That happens in Park Slope.
then exactly. But you know, you should never guarantee, or give any personal opinion about the neighborhood. You should tell them they can look it up on their own. With
Right.
technology and the internet, you know, your basic answer, this is out of my realm of expertise, you're better off consulting with Google on those types of questions.
Okay,
That would be a safe
that's,
bet with regards to that, but,
or go to the local precinct
Right.
and ask, you know, get some crime
and
statistics.
like you said, less is more. Why add more to your sales? You don't need it. You don't need to add that in because you get entangled. Then they want to know, hey, can you produce those stats for me? Then you're locked into a situation where you're emailing them crime statistics and so on and so forth. and
No,
going
no,
above
no.
and beyond the Call of Duty.
And the same thing, by the way, with the definition of diversity. Because the same way that good schools mean different things to different people, and you don't know when someone walks through your door what their needs are, what their children's needs are. What does diversity mean to each of you, to a customer that walks in? To someone it might mean the neighborhood has 50% minorities. To someone else it might mean 20%.
5%.
You know, you don't know what it means to the people who walk through the door because you don't know them. So your best bet is to find a way to say to your customers, I'm here to help you find, you know, a home. You tell me what it is you're looking for and I will help you do that. But things like whether you'll feel comfortable in the neighborhood, the schools, whether it's diverse, you need to determine those things for yourself. You need to do your homework because that's too important a decision for you to take someone else's opinion. And my standards may be different, my opinion may be different. You need to visit the schools, you want to know about safety, go to the police station, you want to know about diversity, as Anthony said, go to the websites. Be a resource, not a source of that kind of information.
Okay, there were more you had a question.
But ultimately, as a real estate agent, you're representing
your knowledge of,
No.
of said, so if I have a client, she's a young woman, and I'm showing her an apartment, and she asks me, oh, so is this neighborhood safe? I'm gonna say, no, it's not.
No,
Or in
no,
general,
you're not gonna say, no, it's not. You're gonna say, you know, I don't know what your expectations of safe is,
But
and,
if I say, I feel safe here.
that's
is
fine.
Is that opinion just good enough and not? I send my kids to school here. Or,
Did you say that?
it's,
You
you
can-
may, but make sure it's very clearly I. If you're gonna do that,
'cause like
then
I
it's
crime
I.
is down in Brooklyn, and it is in New York City in comparison to 1970 to now, like crime is down.
Crime is down, that's absolutely right.
If someone wants to know your own experience, if someone says, do you live here? What's been your experience? Or do your kids go to this school? What has it been like for them? You can answer that question as long as, like Ann said, you make it perfectly clear
Really
that
clear.
it's your experience and it may not be their
So if you
experience.
say something to the fact that I have a friend that lives down the block
No,
here,
no.
you can't have no personal experience.
Let's not go into deep personal experience. You live in the neighborhood, I walk to the subway every day, fine. But my friend and my cousin and my uncle, forget them.
How about an answer like this? I have personally never experienced anything in that neighborhood, but if you want, you can go online and do your own research.
That's what we said before, you can use online, you can send them to the police precinct and have them discuss the crime. They can even probably look at the, whatever it's called, the blotter, and see what the crimes have been in the last week. You know, there are places they can go, but that's up to them to do their research, not up to you to do it for them, even though you're their agent.
You can also refer them if you have other customers who live in the area who might be willing to talk. You can ask whether you can put them in touch with someone at a local house of worship if they've indicated to you, what their affiliation is, organizations in the area. I mean, if somebody wants to find a way to get that information, as I said, you can be a resource and suggest people or organizations to speak to, but you can't be that source of information.
Okay, so now the worship
Yeah, you're not-
situation, is that not going into some
See,
kind
I
of
think that
discrimination?
was something.
I'm referring
But
someone to,
if they'd said to you, I want to know where the nearest Baptist church is, you can go to take them to a phone book, you can help them, you can have a printout of all the churches. And so it was with that in mind, that
Right.
they'd already given you that they were interested in this, and you could say, well, why don't you go talk about that with people at the church you're going to?
Right.
No.
What I hear you saying is it's okay if they steer the conversation, but you're not supposed to lead them.
Thank you.
Yes, it's
As long as it really isn't in a discriminatory way, which we'll talk about later.
Basically, you just say, I've never experienced this here. It's safe to me. My wife lived here, come home from the, train.
right.
What if that's not
But say,
true?
but I don't know. But I don't know.
But I don't know how you feel.
Well, then you may be sued not for fair housing, but for fraud, bad business practice.
Okay.
Yeah, just say this has been our experience, but I don't know what your experience would be like. Okay.
Okay, last question.
Okay. In an advertisement for a small two-bedroom home in a neighborhood where many families live, which of the following language is improper under the fair housing laws? Is A, improper?
Yes.
Good. How about B? No, it's not improper. What about C? Is C improper? Very good. And how about D? Let's just go through the three that are improper. I want you to tell me why they're improper. Why is the first one improper? A. Family. Quiet's okay. Family. It may indicate a preference for what we would consider to be a traditional family, and people without children may not feel welcome there. Yes.
I read that quiet also qualifies. That quiet was also improper because it indicates a safe neighborhood, like safe for